Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for tuning in today. So today I want to talk to you guys about how we view the 12 houses in Chinese Vedic astrology. The way we view the 12 houses in Chinese Vedic astrology is generally the same as how the Vedic and Western systems view the 12 houses, with some slight differences, or some of the houses, as well as some unique techniques that only we employ. The ascendant is called the house of destiny in Chinese astrology, or the Ming Gong. What this house represents is that it serves as a foundation for the rest of the chart, and it shows a great deal of the reason for why you are here in this world. The condition of this house will tell us how well you will do in this life, as well as what are some of the hardships that you will face, what are some of the benefits that you will enjoy, as well as what your nature is and your personality. So it's pretty much the same as how the Vedic and Western astrology views the ascendant. But we also add a little bit of our own flair into our interpretation. One thing that we do is we add techniques of interpretation. One of these techniques is called the 10 celestial transformations. So, for example, if you were born in 1987, you would be born in the year of the fire rabbit. If you were born in 2024, you would be born in the year of the wood dragon. What we do is we look for the stem, we call the heavenly stem, of your birth year. After we find the stem of your birth year, we calculate the 10 celestial transformations of each planet. I will make a separate video about this technique in the future, and we will talk about it more there. But let's say, for example, you are a Capricorn ascendant and you were born in 2007, which is the year of the fire pig. So for the year of the fire pig, the heavenly stem is called Ding, which is the yin fire. And for that year, Venus transforms into what we call Tian Lu, or celestial favor. And what celestial favor does is Venus becomes more beneficial in our point of view. And since Venus is also the lord of the 10th house for Capricorn ascendants, Venus becomes extra important, as well as Mars, which transforms into what we call Tian Yin, or celestial haven. And Mars also becomes more beneficial. And for Capricorn ascendant, Mars is the ruler of the 4th and the 11th. This would not be the same if, say, you were born in the year of 1991 during the year of the metal sheep, or Xin Wei, where Venus is transformed into what we call the celestial punishment, Tian Xing, and Mars is transformed into what we call celestial exhaustion, or Tian Hao. So even if you had really good placements of Venus and Mars in your chart as a Capricorn ascendant, if you were born during Xing year, or yin metal year, your achievements might not be as high as someone who has really good Venus and Mars placements as a Capricorn ascendant born in a Ding year. There are also a lot of other special calculations that we consider, like the 3 chieftains, or the placement of the heavenly horse, or where your prosperous sign is, or the Lü Gong. So all aspects must be taken into consideration, and there are always exceptions to every rule. The second house is called Cai Bo Gong, or the house of wealth, and it governs our overall wealth and our overall ability to accumulate wealth. The third house is called the house of siblings, or 兄弟宫, and this house governs all our interactions with our siblings, our luck with our siblings, will we have support from them, will we have siblings. The fourth house, 田宅宫, is called the house of land and property in Chinese Vedic astrology. And it's also known as the house of parents, where this house is generally seen for the condition of both parents. It's also used to see our luck in property and our luck in our home, as in will we live in a big home, a small home, a dirty home, a clean home, a luxurious home. This can all be seen through the fourth house. The fifth house is called 男女宫, or the house of children. And this house governs our ability to have children, the condition of our children, will we have good or bad children. Basically everything that has to do with our children is seen from this house. This is also called the house of romance, and we also look at this house when we want to check our romance luck. The sixth house is called 奴仆宫, or the house of servitude, and this house governs all our servants, or will we be a servant, will all be seen through the condition of the sixth house. Whether we will serve or whether we will be served depends on the condition of this house, as well as whether we will have good workers or bad workers, whether we will be a good worker or a bad worker, whether we will work long hours or short hours. This all has to do with the condition of the sixth house. The seventh house is called 夫妻宫, or the house of spouse. And through this house, we will see if we will have a spouse, if we will have a good or bad spouse, when we will have a spouse. Everything that has to do with our marriage is based on the seventh house and its lord and its condition. The eighth house is called 疾厄宫, or the house of well-being. And this house governs all of our sickness and accidents. So depending on the condition of this house, we can see if someone is prone to sickness, prone to accidents, prone to misfortune. The ninth house, or the 宜多宫, is called the house of immigration and long travels. It's primarily used to see if a person will immigrate to another country and settle down. It's also used to see the higher education or the potential for higher education of a person, whether they're able to get a specialized degree or a college degree is based on how the condition of the ninth house and the ninth lord is. The 10th house is called 官禄宫, or the house of power, authority, and position. And from this house, we will see how powerful or what's the potential of this person's ability to rise in life. And that's why the 10th house is considered one of the strongest houses in Chinese Vedic astrology. The 10th lord is also very important when we try to judge the field of work a person will be doing, whether he'll be a carpenter or a stockbroker, an engineer or a surgeon. This all depends on the 10th lord and it's the 10th house. So the 11th house is called the house of accumulated merits, or 福德宫. So the 11th house holds a very high importance in Chinese Vedic astrology, as it shows the accumulation of our past karmas, whether good or bad. And it's very important to analyze the condition of this house, because if you even if you have a very strong 10th house where you could rise to a high position in life, or a very strong second house where you will gain a lot of wealth, but if you have a bad 11th house, you might not be able to enjoy it for long. You might get into an accident, or something might happen where you lose all your power, all your wealth. So the condition of the 11th house is very important to see the longevity of your prosperity. The 12th house, 相貌宫, is called the house of appearance. I like to call the 12th house the house of subconscious presence, because through my own knowledge and research, I've noticed that the 12th house shows the subconscious energy or presence that someone might give off. For example, a police officer who subconsciously gives off a sense of authority, or a nurse who subconsciously gives off an energy of caring and compassion, or a monk who gives off an energy of spirituality. This all has to do with the condition of the 12th house and its lord. So in Chinese astrology, we also have a concept called the 7 strong and the 5 weak. We view 7 houses as strong and 5 houses as weak. And these houses are also further arranged from strongest to weakest. So the 1st house and the 10th house is considered the strongest houses of the chart. And then there's the 7th house and the 4th house, which is considered the 2nd strongest. The 5th and 11th house is considered the 3rd strongest, and the 9th house is considered neutral, but tending towards a strong house. The 12th house and the 6th house is considered the weakest house, and in Chinese Vedic astrology they give it the term 仙, which basically means fallen. The 3rd house is considered half fallen, or the 2nd weakest. The 8th and 2nd is considered neutral weak. It is considered highly detrimental for planets in bad signs to be in weak houses. For example, if Mars is in Taurus in the 6th, 8th, and 12th house, it is considered highly detrimental, and a person could live a life of hardship and poverty when they have this placement, unless there is other saving graces in the chart that can lift this Mars. Whereas Mars in Taurus in the 5th or 7th can still give some bad prediction, like Mars in Taurus in the 7th could make someone have a hard time finding marriage, and Mars in Taurus in the 5th house could make someone have trouble having children. We will go more deeper into these combinations in the future as we start talking more specific about each and every planet and its behavior in different houses, as well as each ascendant and combinations that benefit each ascendant. So, if you like what you have learned today, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And I appreciate you guys for watching today.